Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about the sources of energy, part 6. Still, the students, those who have not been sent their assignments, are requested to send their assignments so that we can mark them, and their internal marks can be get secured. So those who have not submitted their assignments, submit your assignments. Please don't repeatedly send your assignments whichever you have sent, and you are having your notebook with you. You know, in the end tab you can see the subject wise, date wise assignments for a particular subject through filter. So please check with the end tab, open the end tab, in the filter put it for whichever subject you want to check. See in your notebook whether you have submitted or not. If you have not submitted, genuinely submit it, and please stop asking about how many assignments still it is pending it. You have both the access, you have your notebook, you have your end tab, how many activities, homeworks are being sent. So please check and send as fast as you can. Clear, students, regarding your pending assignment, and the regular assignments from June which is ever is coming it, that also you have to submit, because we are also marking for that also, and your internal marks will be totally based upon these assignments which you are sending it. Avoid sending the notes which you are copying it in your notebook. Clear? So today we are going to start. Till now we have started with sources of energy. In that one we have seen about the energy. Then we have seen about how energy we will be classifying it as renewable and non-renewable based upon it replenishing in the environment. Then we have seen about it based upon the usability for man, means how basic need of man can be used. For that purpose we have used we have classified it as conventional and non-conventional source of energy. And in conventional source of energy we have discussed about the fossil fuel. We have seen about the wind energy. We have seen about the biomass. We have seen hydroelectricity. We have seen how what are they, and basically the in examination for this lesson you will be having most advantages and disadvantages only will be asked. So you have to more focus upon disadvantages and advantages. Clear? So now we are going to see about the second part, wherein we have seen about the alternative source. We were discussing it in alternative source, that is non-conventional source of energy. In non-conventional source of energy we have discussed in detail about the solar energy. Now today we are going to discuss about the energy from the sea. So in energy from the sea, first we will be having about the tidal energy. As you can see in the picture, this is about the tides. Oceans will be there. In this ocean we will be having high tide and low tides. So during the alternate rise and fall in the water level of ocean and sea is known as tides. What are tides? The alternate rise and fall of water in the ocean, we call it as tides. These tides are caused due to gravitational pull of moon and to some extent of sun on water and earth itself. So these tides are caused because of moon. So the rise of the ocean water is called as high tide, while the fall of ocean water is called as low tide. As you can see here, level of the water during low tide, level of the water during high tide, how it will be there. So now here the energy which we are obtaining because of these tidal waves, we call it as tidal energy. And these tides can be take rise of water will be near about 5 to 6 meters high during the high tides. Means water level can rise to 5 to 6 meter high during the high tide, and we can construct a tidal power plant to harness energy from the tide. Means on ocean where we will be getting this type of high tides, we will be using that particular area for construction of this high tides or tidal energy. So in a tidal power plant, a dam built across a bay having a narrow slit, as you can see, a narrow slit will be there from where the water will be rushing it. As you can see it in the picture, a narrow slit is there, narrow opening is there, and having in the sea, and a turbine, you can see how a turbine is fixed here and connected to a generator over it through the shaft fixed to the opening of the dam. The dam has gates. The opening and closing of this gate is controlled by the controlled valve. As you can see, black color two gates will be there, and these gates will be controlled by the valve. We can control. During high tide, this gate will be opened and water from the sea is allowed to fall on the turbine. The kinetic energy of the incoming flowing water rotates the blades of the turbine. When the turbine rotates, its shaft also rotates and makes the armature of the generator to rotate rapidly. Thus, electricity is produced. As the tide falls, the gates are closed. The water trapped behind the dam, the stored water behind the dam has potential energy due to the height above the ground. On your left side, you can see the water will be stored here, and that stored water we will be using it. During low tide, when the water begin to recede away from the land, the gate is opened. The stored water is allowed to flow back through the turbine again. The rotating turbine derives generators to generate electricity. So this is how a tidal energy will be taken. Now the advantages of tidal energy for us. It is an inexhaustible and renewable source of energy for us. It does not cause any environmental pollution. It is not affected by uncertainty of rain also, because for hydroelectric power plant we are dependent on rainwater. It does not produce any harmful waste because there is no residue left behind for us. Then it is not using any fossil fuel for requirement for its production. So tidal power plant is established with low maintenance cost, means we are just have to construct a dam and then we have to fix a turbine. So installation cost is low for us. Then when we are coming to disadvantages or limitation of this energy, this is like limited scope, because everywhere we are not going to have ocean. Like example, if we are taking of Nanded, in Nanded we doesn't have any ocean, so we are unable to harness this tidal energy. So there is a limited scope. Wherever there is a dam, tidal dams cannot be constructed around water which is suitable for building tides. Dams harness the tidal energy. Then small scale power production, because high tides and low tides occur only twice. So for these 2 times only we can able to generate the electricity, because high tides and low tides will not be occurring frequently. It will occur only for 2 times. Then the electricity which is generated by this is also very less for us. Then maintenance cost is high for us. Why maintenance cost is high? Because we are working with ocean water which is full of salt. So whatever machineries we are using, turbine, generator, shaft, this is going to get eroded very fast because of this ocean water. So maintenance cost is going to be very high for us, as well as the variation in tides during daytime. So the power generation is also affected, because during the day we are not going to get continuously the tides will be present for us. So this is all about tides. Then we will be seeing about the wave energy. So this is a model of wave energy, wherein we will be generating the energy from the wave. So waves are generated by strong wind blowing across the sea. These fast moving huge water have a lot of kinetic energy in it. The kinetic energy possessed by a huge waves near the seashore can be trapped to generate electricity. The energy associated with seawater is called as wave energy. A wide variety of devices have been developed to trap the wave energy to rotate the blades of the turbines, the shaft, of the rotating turbine rotates the armature of the generator and electricity is produced. As you can see, this is an example of oscillating water columns will be there. There are many types of wave energy transformation. One is about oscillating water columns. In oscillating water columns, what we will be doing is the most common technology for generating electricity from the tidal energy around the world. The waves are made to move up and down inside a large column. These waves act as a piston in the large columns. As the sea waves move up, the air in the column is compressed. This compressed air turns the turbine connected to the generator to produce electricity. This is used on the islands of Isle of Scotland. Then we are having second is about the wave capture device. In wave capture device, what we will be doing is we will be channelizing these waves in the reservoir. The trapped water collected in the reservoir is now allowed to flow back into the sea through a turbine, thus generating electricity. This technology is used in Norway and Australia. Here what we will be doing is, as soon as the wave comes, we will be having a funnel like structure, we will be using it, and we will be allowing the moment the wave comes, we allow the water to fall in the funnel, and through the funnel we will be having a small opening, and down of the funnel we will be having a turbine. Because of this force water which is coming it from this funnel will be making the turbine to move and then generate the electricity. So this is how wave capture device we will be using it. And then we are having about the wave profile devices. These devices, as you can see in the picture, is a floating generators in the sea. These floating generators moves up and down with the huge sea water. This movement could provide mechanical energy to derive the generators to produce electricity. There are many sites in the world with power available in a large range of 20 to 70 kilowatts per length of a wave. An estimate 2 million megawatts of power is available in the form of waves, which could generate 2000 million megawatt hours of electricity annually. The first wave energy plant with a capacity of 15 megawatt has been set up at near Thiruvananthapuram. Clear? So this is all about the wave energy. As we are associated with the sea energy, so advantages and disadvantages are going to be same. For tidal it is same, for wave energy it is same. For say wave energy, all energy related with this will be the same as we have seen with the tidal energy. Once again I am going to explain about the advantages and disadvantages of the energy from the sea. Then we are going to come about the ocean thermal energy. Ocean thermal energy, as if you know about thermal means here, as in thermal power plants, what we used to do, we used to take the steam. Here also what we are going to do, ocean thermal means from the ocean we are going to take steam, and with this steam we are going to generate the electricity. So the water at the surface of the ocean or sea gets heated by the heat of the sun and attains a higher temperature. The water in the deeper section in the ocean is not heated to the same extent, and so it is relatively colder. So there is always a temperature difference between the water at the upper surface and at the deeper level of the ocean. The energy available due to the difference in temperature between the water surface and the water depth is called as ocean thermal energy. So from this you are clear. Up we will be having hot water, down we will be having cold water. So this hot water and cold water we will be using it for generating electricity. The picture which you can able to see is about the ocean thermal energy power plant. As you can see here, up we will be having a hot water. So we will be selecting an area wherein the temperature between the surface and the depth should be near about 20 degree Celsius, and it should cover near about area of 2 kilometer. That particular area only we will be using for generating the electricity. So in this one 2 kilometer area, and the difference in temperature should be near about 20 degree or more. The warm water from the sea is used to boil the liquid ammonia or chlorofluorocarbons in the evaporator of the ocean thermal energy. As you can see here, this is a vaporizer. Here we will be using the ammonia, or we will be using the chlorofluorocarbons, and we will be pumping the hot water over this chamber. So this ammonia and or chlorofluorocarbon is going to get heat up, and as they had heat up, the vapors will be coming out, and these vapors will be sent up to this turbine, and the steam which is generated because of this will be rotating these turbines, and the electricity will be generated. Whatever the due to vapors the condensation will happen, this will coming down to this chamber where it is been again condensed by applying the cold water, and then again it is will be sent to up to this vaporizing hot water chamber. And this is how continuously we will be using the ocean thermal energy for generation of electricity. Ocean thermal energy was first proposed by a scientist in 1881, and it is near about we are generating 1100 megawatt of energy. We are using it in the coast of Tamil Nadu in India. We are using it. Then again the limitations will be the same as we have discussed here. Also the installation cost is going to be very high for us, and even this is very small scale production, maintenance cost is going to be high because we are working with sea water again. Then the last one which we are going to see about is the geothermal energy, and this geothermal energy is only energy which is not dependent on the heat of the sun directly. It is independent of the sun, because this energy geothermal, geo means earth and thermal means again steam we are using here. The interior of the earth is very hot. In the molten core lying deep inside the earth, the temperature is as high as 4000 degrees Celsius. Due to the geological changes, molten rocks called magma formed in the deeper hot region of the earth core get pushed upwards and trapped in a certain region called as hotspot. These hotspots are formed at some of the depth below the earth's surface. They are tremendous source of heat. When underground water seeps down and comes in contact with these hot spots, it boils and forms steam. The steam is so formed get trapped in between the underground rocks and get compressed to a very high pressure. This steam has the ability to do work. So the heat inside the earth that can be utilized as a source under favorable condition is called geothermal energy. Geo means earth and thermal means heat. Geothermal energy is a source of energy that does not derive its power directly or indirectly from sun. So this is an example for the energy which is derived without using sun energy. So this we can be able to harness by two ways. One is from natural geysers we will be having, and second we will be having it from drilling pipe. This is how we will be drilling the pipe and then we will be taking out. When we are talking about the natural geyser, in natural geysers at some places steam hot water was trapped inside the layer. Rock forces the way to surface through a crack of the rocks. They gushes out in the form of huge fountain called as geysers. These natural sources of steam in the form of natural geysers are used to turn the turbines and generate electricity. So advantages for us of this energy is This is a renewable source of energy because it is an inexhaustible source of energy, clean source of energy because it is not going to have any environmental pollution, no residue is left behind for us. The cost of production is not much because just we have above the earth we have to go put the pump, but when we are coming to drilling it is going to become difficult for us, it is going to be more expensive. It will be saving our fossil fuels. Limitations: hotspots are not going to be found everywhere like we are having now in Mahur. We will be having it, the steam hot spring we are having it, so everywhere we are not going to get this one. So for that reason it is difficult for us. And the second one is like it is deep drilling in the earth takes out steam, becomes from the hotspot is very expensive, as well as the power plants here are very less. We are having at Himachal Pradesh in Manikaran a 5 megawatt of geothermal energy power station in India, and we are having a largest geothermal energy power station in California, North California, wherein we will be harnessing energy of near about 20,000 megawatts of energy. We will be harnessing it from this geothermal energy. So with this we are coming to an end of the third part of your lesson, that is about the energy derived from the sea. Clear students? Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.